Let's talk about the rhetorical modes, process and cause and effect. Process essays teach the reader how to do something by clearly explaining the process step by step. We read process essays every day. How about directions on a new appliance? Have you bought a new phone lately or a new refrigerator? Recipes, maybe you need to learn how to make those champion brownies. Instructions for medicine, take one every 4 hours. Or self-help books. People have made a lot of money telling you how to live your life in a self-help book. There are several things to keep in mind as you write a process essay. Because you are teaching the reader how to do something, you need to write the steps in chronological or emphatic order. Remember, chronological order is time, so you want to write them in the order of which you would do them in time, first, second, third, and so on. Or emphatic means in order of importance. The most important thing is the last thing you would do, of course. You may wish to explain the importance of the process in the introduction. Why do you want to teach us how to make these brownies or how to study for exams? Why is it important that we read your essay? If there's any danger to your process, you should caution your reader. For example, if you're writing a process essay on how to clean a gun, then you would certainly want to tell the reader that they need to make sure that the weapon's unloaded before they start to do the process. And since you're speaking directly to the reader, you may use the second person you. Take a look at the instructions I have given you in this PowerPoint. You are teaching, you need to write, you may wish, you should caution. Notice that I used quite a bit because I'm speaking directly to you. Process essays are one of the only times in formal writing to use the second person. You usually will use the third person when you're writing a formal academic essay. So here are some video examples of process writing. They're pretty self-explanatory once you see them. You can look at them at your own time. We're not going to discuss them, and I'm certainly not going to test you on them, but I wanted you to get an idea of how a process essay might sound. The last one, it might not be quite right, but I thought it was an obvious choice, and it was pretty funny, so you might enjoy it. When you write a cause and effect essay, you are writing about what made something happen, the cause, or what happened as a result of something, the effect. For broad topics, it will be difficult to address both the cause and the effect in one essay. Let's take a look, for example, at the Civil War. If you were to write the cause and the effect of the Civil War, you're not writing an essay, you're writing a book. As a matter of fact, you're probably writing a volume of books. You may only be able to address either the cause or the effect in your essay. Go back to that first thing you do in academic writing, which is check out the assignment. What is the required length of the essay? If you have a 3-page essay, you're not going to be able to write the cause and the effects of something. You're going to have to pick one. For example, you could write what caused the devastation of Hurricane Katrina, and you could write what were the effects of the devastation of Hurricane Katrina. Interestingly, many cause and effect essays will need to be researched. I know you've been waiting for that word. If you have a broad topic, do some pre-writing so that you know which aspects of your topic to research. Okay, so let's take the historical event Hurricane Katrina. It had some controversial concerns, and let's try some pre-writing with a cause and effect essay in mind. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to caution you to try to just do something when you're doing this pre-writing for cause and effect. Just try to do this off the top of your head. I wouldn't, if I were you, start doing immediate research on Hurricane Katrina because you get sidetracked and you lose the idea that you're really trying to figure out whether you're writing about cause or effect. So let's just take a look and let's just write down some of the things that I remember that I know about Hurricane Katrina. First of all, we know that it was a Category 5 storm. Okay, so that would definitely go under the cause because we know that that was what caused the devastation in the first place. They had this gigantic storm come in. We also know that the levees flooded. They failed and they flooded. Okay, and that caused an effect. It caused a loss of life. Life and property. Okay, so let's just add that to our effect side. Okay, we know that one of the causes of the devastation was the failing of the levees, and we know that the effect that it had was to cause loss of life and property. So you see now how we've kind of done this thing that we knew that happened, and we've already categorized it as either a cause or an effect of the devastation of Katrina. Okay, we also know that the hurricane took its time. All right, it stalled. Now, what that did was that offered a great deal of time to the authorities. So what we could look at, because we know that the hurricane stalled, what we could look at is, did they do enough preparation? Okay, what were they doing? What were the authorities doing in order to prepare us for this storm that was supposed to be huge, and it was huge? So what was going on there? And what you could look at, what you can look at is the authorities. All right, think about who are the authorities that would be working on this. Well, first of all, you have the mayor, okay? And I'm going to add to the mayor, we'll add the police chief, okay? Because we know that it would be their job to coordinate any type of rescue efforts that might be contained or might have to occur in the city. So we know that we have some things here. We have some people here who are responsible. All right, we also have the governor. Certainly, you know, the governor of Louisiana would have a level of responsibility when a giant hurricane is about to come ashore. So we have the authorities. We're wondering, how much preparation did they do? All right, we know that because of the devastation that did occur, that there was not enough preparation. So you would say, not enough. Make yourself a note. And what I would do when I begin to research this is I would look at specific articles about what was done ahead of time. Who held meetings? Who talked to who tried to coordinate efforts? Okay, was there anything that was done federally? Okay, which is also an issue. All right, so these would all be questions, things that you would want to look up, things that you would want to get further research on. All right, so we know that there was not enough preparation. We know that they had time, but we know that after we see what happened, of course, you know, 2020 is perfect vision, hindsight is 2020, and you see, just based on the facts that you know, that there was not enough preparation to get the city ready, to get the area ready. So what were the effects then? All right, first of all, we know that there was loss of life and property. I believe possibly over 1,800 people perished in the hurricane, okay, as a result of the storm and of the flooding that occurred along the south. What about and the property? Certainly, billions of dollars in property. Billions of dollars. Okay, so we come to the money thing, the effect. What were the effects of Hurricane Katrina? Not just that people lost their lives and their homes, but also the money situation happened later when new laws, new insurance laws came into effect that affected everyone in the state. Okay, so this is an interesting thing. Many people will go all the way back to Hurricane Katrina and say, well, we have higher homeowners insurance because of a hurricane that happened in the south part of the state. So this is something interesting. This is also something you could very easily put into a cause and effect essay. All right, also New Orleans, and I'm just talking strictly Louisiana. New Orleans lost a couple of things. New Orleans lost population. People left the city and have never returned. They have resettled in other parts of the country. So this is an interesting thing to look at. How many times possibly in history has it occurred where a devastating storm has wiped out a city so much so that the residents did not want to return? That's an interesting thing, but also something else. Not only did New Orleans lose billions of dollars in property, but they also lost revenue. And that's a huge thing because New Orleans, as we all know, is a tourist city, and you can't tour something that's flooded and where there are rescue attempts going on. There was a lot of loss of money there, not only in revenue, but also we had something else too. They lost businesses. One industry that absolutely, not really abandoned, I don't want to say abandoned, I just said abandoned. Actually, one industry that left New Orleans because they could not work there was the film industry. Okay, so the film industry actually came north to Shreveport. So it's interesting to see the effects of Katrina and the causes of Katrina. Now, if you were going to write an essay, you could choose one or the other. You could actually go and choose one thing and talk about the money. You could talk easily about the money that the south part of the state lost. So this is a very interesting pre-writing session here, and I think it's something that you could do easily on any topic. Just think about what you know that caused the event and what you know that happened after. And you've got a cause and effect pre-writing session that will help you start your research. So once you've done some pre-writing on your topic, do some serious research to hone your topic into a thesis statement. Just a little note here, cause and effect essays can also easily be blended with the chronological aspect of a narrative. And if you're talking about the cause of what happened to Hurricane Katrina, and particularly into the city of New Orleans, you could very easily put in a timeline type of a cause essay. You know, where the hurricane hit first, how it stalled, how it came ashore, who did what. There was certainly some political fallout. If you would prefer to write about that, you could talk about the effect that Katrina had on the politics in south part of the state. The mayor was reelected, the governor was not. Was there any federal fallout? Certainly there's quite a bit there that you could look at and you could write about, and you could use the chronological aspect. So good luck writing your process essays and your cause and effect essays.